Hey guys, Ermind here. Um, this video was made while I'm very tired. I'm still very tired, and it contains Tears of the Kingdom spoilers. I don't really get into any of the story details, but I do mention a couple of quests and stuff that could be considered a spoiler, so I just wanted to give a little warning before the actual video. Alright, so I had an idea from playing Breath of the Wild, now Tears of the Kingdom. Um, I'm so used to saying Breath of the Wild when I talk about Zelda now, because it's the big one that I was playing for a long time. But I had an idea to bring back some of the more classical elements of Zelda and introduce them into Tears of the Kingdom. There would be, we'll keep the three main settings: the Sky Islands, the actual landmass, and the underground. But we're going to change up how they work, and we're going to reintroduce the Triforce. We'll do that in a Wind Waker style where you're collecting pieces. Three pieces broken into five each. 5 on each landmass. We'll change up the landscape a little more by moving the shrines to the different areas. I'll get to where they go in a minute. Okay. The first area would be mostly the same, but it would have 12 dungeons. No, it would have 4 dungeons, each based around the 4 races. This is kind of just how the stages are now, so that's fine. We'll move some of their placements around, so it's all not in the Sky Islands, but it's actually on the mainland mass. We can cheat a bit with the volcano bit, because that's still a kind of cool thing, but we'll make that kind of a middle between the underground and thing. Same way with the Rito up and down. It'll be a little lower than it is, so it's not a part of Sky Island, but a kind of middle ground. You can even use both of those points as jumping off points for how to get to the other areas faster. But each of the 4 races, back during the time of the Demon King, was given a piece of the Triforce to protect. With the royal family having the last piece for the main continent. So 4 big dungeons, and then under that, like shelter thing and lookout landing, we can have like a monster area, I guess, is what you would call it. Where the main thing is Ganondorf knows where all of these pieces are perfectly, and they're all being besieged by monsters and protected by a boss. And this is going to be the Triforce of Power, or the Triangle of Power, rather. One piece of the Triforce itself. And you have to go to the Spring of Power, which is the one that remains on the primary continent, and bring, let's just say, the dragon materials again, to refuse the pieces together. For the Sky Island, this is going to be the piece of wisdom. We're going to redesign this one so this is where most of the shrines are now, instead of on the main continent. shrines will still be a thing, and will be randomly spread, but as always, they'll be more optional. This one will be less combat focused and more puzzle solving for its 4 dungeons. This will have a similar thing, by the way. It'll be all 3 continents will have 4 big dungeons, and then a special 5th area that you unlock once you get it to get the last piece. For the Sky Islands, the 5th area will be the new highest point. It'll be a tower going up, with just a lot of varying difficulty level floors of puzzles. There'll still be monsters interspersed, but they'll be less common. Than either of the other 2 areas. We can also have this be where the new Spirit Sage is. So instead of going up to the Thunderstorm Island and going down to the end around, you're climbing a tower up, solving puzzles using the construct thing. And like all 3 sets of 4 big dungeons will be mirroring each other, I guess. But like I said, Middle Hyrule will be combat. Sky will be puzzle. Then for the underground, we're going to change this up a lot because it's kind of boring as it is now. There's still going to be plenty of monsters and a lot of gloom. But we're going to make this more terror themed, because plenty of the older games were scary when playing them. This will be like your bottom of the well, or like bits of Majora's Mask that are made to scare you. Instead of just being, oh, you stepped in the gloom, now you lose a heart, it'll be timer based. To just kind of like ramp up the anxiety of it. It'll be like a beating, pulsing timer, slowly getting faster and faster. And once it hits arbitrary limit, 3 minutes, 5 minutes of whatever, one of your hearts seals away, and now it's a little harder to unseal them. You can't just eat glowy flower and mushroom. Now, only leaving the area where the light roots will do it. And for leaving the area, you have to spend the same amount of time out as you did in for it to reverse. It's like, if the timer is like a minute and a half per heart, and you get 2 hearts, so it's 3 minutes, you have to spend 3 minutes in actual Hyrule now to unseal those hearts, or whatever, however the times want to do it. Also, for this one, the 5th special area will be like a gloom lake, filled with grasping hands and phantom cannons. that you, in theory, could fight, but there are other solutions to getting around it, in effect. But all of the parts in this area require, like, blind drops, are what I think they're called, where the game makes it very hard to tell if this is a survivable fall or not. And things like that. Because this is the area of courage. And you'd think that Ganondorf would have the pieces of power in his, like, gloom-infested dark area. But him having the Triforce doesn't do much for him right now. No, he specifically wants to keep it out of your hands. And the piece of courage is Link's. After you've taken each to their respective shrine, which is in their respective, like, landmass, I guess, you can take them to any of the big statues. But it will imply that you should go to the Forgotten Temple in that canyon, the one that currently in Tears of the Kingdom you fix, like, get it to stand up. Instead, the giant goddess statue will, instead of giving you just a weapon or whatever, she'll repair all of the pieces of the Triforce. Bring them from the three pieces, the three separate triangles, to the Triforce. And we're going to say that getting the actual Triforce pieces will each give you a buff, and then combining them, that you have all three active simultaneously. Whereas before, you have to pick which one you have equipped. Like, one of power would up all of your weapon attacks. The one of wisdom would increase durability on your shields. Courage is a little harder to think of, but it would probably directly improve the Master Sword. Like, decrease the recharge time or something like that. And we should also bring back, like, the shield. Like, I know there's still Hylian shields and everything, but they're not, like, the shield. Yeah. We can keep all the story elements, maybe spread out the memories a little better, though. And maybe once you get the Master Sword, you can take it to, like, the Great Deku Tree or something for I don't know, like, he can faster than normal but slower than the piece of courage. Speed up its recharge, but for like Korak seats to give them an actual point beyond. After finishing Hestu's uh, up your inventory, you can give them to the Great Deku's tree for either weapons or speeding up recovery or something. I don't know. Yeah, thank you for listening. If anyone's even been listening.